Hello and welcome back to our 8th episode of the Walking Dead universe role-playing game by Free League Publishing. So, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you much for joining me in this Walking Dead journey for our two adventure, our survivors, Simon and Kai. Thank you for subscribing if you are a subscriber, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider it. The subscriptions do help the channel grow. If you can hit that like button, if you like what you're seeing, please go ahead and hit that like. If you have any comments, please stick those comments down the bottom. It also helps us if you put in comments and you let us know how you think about things, and we can reply. We're reaching close to our 500, and it's very, very exciting. So thank you very much for all the support that you've given me all the time. I am really very, very grateful for it indeed. So on with the game. So we left Simon and Kai. They had travelled south from where their haven is. So they travelled south from where their haven is. Their haven is here, and they have travelled south and down, or at the moment they are in the Marsden Park area, where they attempted to just go in and try and find, I think they were looking for building supplies and possible people to help do the building. Whilst trying to investigate the Marsden Park area, a swarm was triggered because of a conflict that they joined in between some of the people living around the Marsden Park area and some of the Norsemen who had attacked one of the families. And so Simon and Kai got involved in the fight, fought back the Norsemen, and then helped fight the swarm. It ended up being a big swarm that they needed to fight back to get into the Marsden Park area. Whilst being in Marsden Park, they had to spend the night in Marsden Park. They helped deliver a baby. Sadly, they didn't succeed in saving, because there were complications, they didn't succeed in saving the mother's life, but the baby was saved, and there were some good feelings within the community. Now, how we left it, I've got notes here, because it was last week. They would be returning this session. We would need to try and get Joey, who was the encounter that we rolled up. He was a Joey Chard, who is an expert with endurance and trained in force and trained in close combat. We said that he would be possibly able to help. I think he was, hold on, let me quickly look him up. So he's a construction worker. That's the reason why we wanted to take him back. So we want to try and convince him to come and join our haven. Now, it might be easier than we thought, particularly if his daughter was killed. So we rolled Reckoning, Curiosity, Independence, and from here on the actual encounter we've got out to get revenge for his dead daughter. So we decided that it was the Norsemen had attempted to attack his little settlement. His daughter got killed, so Joey is without family, so we might be able to convince him to come back to the haven with us and then help us with constructing the increased defences and maybe becoming part of the haven themselves, as the Major and Anne, who are the two other members of the haven, they have headed north to attempt to convince the survivalist person here to come down, and that was a success, but they haven't returned back because we haven't returned. So what I was thinking is that we want some supplies, so we need some wood and some tools. So there's several things that we have to do. Is we need to convince Marsden Park to give us supplies, which I think is going to be very unlikely, but we might be able to do something for them, and convince Joey, which might just be a manipulation roll. So those are the two things that we need to do. But what we will do is we will run through the solo procedure. First, we will do a dearly departed, so as I can roll a double O and then add that to our experience points. We'd already got 2 experience points for the last session, which then took us to 11, and I bought an extra point in close combat, giving us 2 points now in close combat, but we'll get a double O if I can think of something to do a dearly departed for. Alright, so what I've got is when you create your character, the first thing, you have to put where you got your thing. So I had handy, which was +2 to tech for repair, and That was just because of the role of scientist. And then I took Unbreakable because it's solo play. From the handy, I said it was taught by my dad. So, Dad, sorry about what happened, Dad. I did come back to check whether you're okay with Kai, and then when you jumped out and you attacked Kai, I just acted on instinct, and I hit you with the sledgehammer, and you fell over, and then there was that cracking sound, and then you stood back up again, and that's when I realised your arm was broken and you were still moving. That's when Kai then realised that you had already died. We never really found out what happened to you, Dad, but we had to make sure, and that's what we did. So I've never really thought about this before, but thank you. Thanks for all the stuff, you know. Thanks for the teaching. Thanks for, you know, just being there. It was never easy, was it? You and me. But I guess we both tried. I did come back to see if you're okay, and you weren't. And now you are. So I guess that's that. Time to move on. That's what you always said. So I'll do a double low, and then we'll get that. Okay. 2. That sounds about right for that one. So that gives us 3 points of experience. Okay, so what we need to do now is we'll run through the solo process. So if this is not the first session, decide how much time has elapsed. So overnight. So what we've got is, since last session is basically overnight. And then roll for each clock on, right, clocks, challenge clocks. We have the army base swarm. It stands at a 4 at the moment. That goes to 5. So we might need to go over there and try and find out soon. Otherwise that's gonna run out. We've got the other MP, so that's the chapel, that was also at 4. So that goes up by 1. The survivalist who is up, we may be able to cross, I think once we get back we'll be able to cross that off the list. So I might not bother doing that one, because that one is going that rumour is going to automatically come off, because basically we've now collected that survivalist. Now we've got the mobile vaccine lab, that stands at 5 at the moment. 1, so that doesn't go up. And then we've got the lab team, the military lab team, that's our 5th rumour. 2, that doesn't go up. And finally, we've got the swarm in the safe zone. So remember we mentioned this was near St Ives, that we said that there was a safe zone had been set up. That is over here. Over here, where St Ives is, there was the big field that I talked about, the medieval fair, St Ives medieval fair. So there would have been the safe zone had been set up there, but that got overrun, and there would be lots of goodies and lots of supplies there. So that one stands at a 1 at the moment, a 5. So that one ticks on. Other people might have got to that. And next we have the Norse, is our one faction that's still functioning. A 4, 1, 2, 3, yep, that ticks on. So the Norse ticked on, the safe zone ticked on, and we think we should be able to take the survivalist off. If we go back and the survivalist is there, then we'll take the survivalist off. But at the moment we'll stand at having 6 rumours currently running. Update your Havens project. So the Havens project at the moment is, we are attempting to repair the defences, but that will take, so to take the defence to 2, that will take 2 days, 5 people, equipment and tools. We don't have the people, we don't have the equipment, we don't have the tools. So that's what we're attempting to the moment. Deciding the challenge and activate it. So the challenge is, we are going to attempt to convince the Marsden Park people to let us have some supplies. Now we've got advanced medical skills that we can trade, but that means we need to stay here for a while. Or we've also got, because there'll be small communities, I'm imagining there's small communities around the industrial park. I should have found images to show you, and so we will be able to, I'll use those same ones throughout Marsden Park. and we need to convince Joey. So convincing Joey to come back is probably the easiest one of those. And then I'm imagining, we've all, surely we have all played computer game, role-playing games, and that means to get supplies from people at Marsden Park, they would give us a quest. So I'm thinking the dice will make the dice do that, a quest for that. And activate the challenge. Well, that is that we'll work out what our challenge is going to be, which I think our challenge is going to be a run for the Marsden Park people. NPCs, our NPCs, the Major and Anne are returning back, would be returning back to the Haven today. So let's see. So first off, let's go. We're going to talk to, let's see, we reached, oh, no, I think I did yeah, our stress is now at 0. So we did the handling fear. So what we're going to do is, we are going to, 4, 2, and Kai's got manipulation and trained. So we're going to speak to Joey, and we're going to start talking to Joey about, well, basically we're going to attempt to psychologically manipulate Joey. We're going to make him feel sad that his daughter has left. We're going to talk about the need for family and the need in the past for family to keep us stable, and the need to maintain that going into the future, that even though this is a new world, it's very important we have family, and the closer knit that family can be, the possible. And then we will start talking about how we helped resolve the issue with the people who took his family away. And then we are going to attempt to create a psychological bond between him and us, in the fact that we helped him, and we helped him in a point when he's in need. And now we just need him to just briefly help us with the construction skills that he's got, to come and help us defend our family and protect our family from people who may come and hurt us. And we're going to see if we can get him to come and help us. I think I'm keeping the threat at 3 at the moment, because I'm thinking that they're highly likely that there's still quite a few walkers milling around outside. So we are attempting to psychologically manipulate Joey Chard into coming and joining our haven. Now he might not join, because we're going to need to do later after he's helped us with the repairs to see if he stays, but just to get him to come back and help. Okay, nothing. So he is in 2 minds. So we can push. Now to remember, to push, you've got to take a stress. So he's saying, no, you know what? Like, it's really great for you to ask, but I've still got things here that I can do. I've still got a community here that I can help. And then we were going to say, oh, we totally understand, Joey. Like, we totally understand that you know, that where your alliances lead, and we understand that these are important to you. It's just that our family needs protecting, and we need, like, our family home, the haven where we are, needs protecting, which is the reason why we came down here and risked ourselves for you. All we need is you to just spare enough time, and we're going to sort of push it. Now if we get a Walcott on this roll, he's going to be annoyed and just going to understand that we're trying to manipulate and go off. We might say, no, that's not how pushing works. He's not trading manipulation for us to be able to, him to be able to resist himself. So we just need to get another hit. We're trying to really stress it, but this is risking that he could get annoyed with us. What? Okay. So we got 3 hits, but we have, so so because of the Walker, so I'll make a note that Joey will come and help, because we were very convincing, but he's not staying. He has to come back, and we have to guarantee to get him back. Now, because of this, and because we've annoyed a member of their community, I think it's even more likely that we're not going to be able to convince them to part with the supplies without us doing something. So I will say that manipulation roll is going to take a 2-hit maximum. We might even say it's nearly impossible to convince them, which is a 3-hit, although we did get that, a 3-hit. Next, after we've spoken to Joey, Kai and I are going to find the leadership who has, so it might mean travelling around a bit, moving between a couple of settlements, because if Marsden Park central area is where people go into, but no one's actually set up camp there because there's just too many walkers milling around the area, and it's too open and prone for defence. It's too big an area to defend, basically. You'd need so many people to defend an area that big. that really you're better off in a smaller haven. So we are it's going to be hard now because we've annoyed the people to convince them to just give us supplies. So we will need, or let's do, I don't know if you remember from the using the Aliens role-playing game system with the parts per million that I read. Strong, yes. Weak, yes. So if we get, the sixes on the black dice are yeses, ones on the red dice are no's. If we ask for supplies, are they going to give them? We've got a 1, yes. Okay, so they will give them, which means that we can do a manipulation roll. So we will attempt to do a manipulation. So there are some supplies for us to get. We don't have to do anything. People have got some wood and some tools, some nail guns and various things that we can get hold of, or some nails and hammers that we can actually get and take back, and they're happy for us to take them if, this is the bit, now if we can manipulate them, we might be able to get them without needing to do anything for them. But otherwise, we're going to have to do stuff. So we've got 2 for manipulation, 4 for empathy, 1 because of Kai, and we're on 1 stress at the moment. So I'm going to say we need 2 hits for them to just say, okay, you'll owe us. Or for the medical stuff, 2 hits and we can just do some, treat some people for some colds and some sprains. We've delivered a baby, we'll give them some advice on how to look after the baby, and then we can grab the supplies and go. Okay, 1 hit. All right. I could attempt to push it again, but that'll take us to 2 stress already. But instead of trying to, but potentially we could then annoy them and they'll take back the supply. So instead we're going to say, okay, what can we do for you? And this is where I'll roll some theme bits and we'll see what it is that they'll let us do. So we'll do 3 themes. And if you remember, there are 6 columns for themes, theme 1 to 6, which is what we use the little one for. And then it's a D66 tens units for the rest. And so we'll roll 3 theme words and we'll see what we come up with. 3, 5, 5. Tragedy. So there has been a tragedy. Maybe this will link to our medical skills. 1, 1, 3. Anguish. I must say that these words are very thematically good for the setting. For solo gaming, there are a few that, so for instance, the Dragonbane ones that I tried using didn't seem that thematically good. They were quite difficult to work things out with. Whereas these, I mean, the Walking Dead book is not the most well laid out rule books I've ever played with. I have used worse, but it's not great. Whereas things like Twilight 2000 really well laid out. Dragonbane, awesomely laid out. But the solo rules for Walking Dead are really good, actually. Once you start rolling into it, really quite good. And the thematic table is outstanding. So our third word, 665. This is going to be a bad word, isn't it? 6, wonder. Tragedy, anguish, wonder. Let's have another one. Sparkus. 656. 656. Unity. All right. Tragedy, anguish, wonder, unity. I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do one more and see if that sparks me, because I've got a few things playing in my head, but none of them really. 5, 2, 6. 5, 2, 6 is generosity. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking some family had some tragic event which caused one of the members to basically doubt what's happening. And the wonder unity is that they've gone off to try and explore or find something. And what we're being asked to do is to go and make sure they're okay. So the wonder unity is the bit that's got me a bit confused. I'm going to ask Chat GPT. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Chat GPT was awesome. Let me just tell you. So I said the following. I'm playing a solo role-playing game set in the Walking Dead universe. I've rolled 5 theme words: tragedy, anguish, wonder, unity, and generosity. It's linked to a mission where we're being asked to do. God, my typing's terrible. The world is set in Sydney, Australia, in the area around Marsden Park. I'm thinking A family has had a tragedy before them. A surviving member is suffering anguish and has gone off to explore something to get unity back and fulfill their wonder. Where around that area might you suggest they could have gone for us to go and check they're okay? GPT says, setting, loads of stuff about Rich, little bit of lead in. Considering the theme words and geographic context, I suggest missions centered around the Nepean River as the destination for the family member driven by fulfilling his unity and wonder. The family, once thriving in Marsden Park, faced a devastating loss when a horde of walkers overran their safe haven. Amidst the chaos, one member, say Alex, witnessed the tragic loss of all of his loved ones. Overwhelmed by anguish, Alex becomes determined to find the semblance of peace and unity that the family once shared. Alex remembers tales of the river, how its beauty and significance to the local community before the outbreak. Intrigued by these stories, he is set off towards the river, which is near Penrith. I'll show you on the map in a minute. Unity involves tracking down Alex and ensuring their safety. And this says that when we find Alex, there's a group of survivors near the riverbank who are starting to band together. So, we've also got generosity, that they're generous. So what Chat GPT suggests, and I think it incorporates all the keywords, and that's great, is we are going off to the, it's pronounced Nepean. I wrote it down wrong. Nepean River. So the people in in Marsden Park tell us about this person Alex, who set off to reach the Nepean River, which is not that far away. Here we go. It is here. Here we go. It's here. That's the Nepean River. So we are being asked to go here. So we'll say it's in this location here. So we're being asked to travel down to explore around the area in the Nepean River where Alex has gone, and we are to see if Alex is okay, because he's been gone ages. Been gone, I don't know, let's say 2 weeks. Gone 2 weeks. And to see if we can retrieve Alex, and if we can retrieve information back about Alex, then on our way back we can collect the stuff. Let's see, does Joey says, because of that mess up, Joey will not come with Simon, Kai and Simon. Instead, Joey's saying that he's going to stay here and he's going to help secure the pit here, and then he'll come up with the supplies back to the haven and try and find out. So the next day we will be, so overnight, so the next day we will get our kit together and we are going to travel down to here to see if we can encounter where this Alex dude is, and see if we can convince Alex to come back with us to the haven, that people are missing him. So that is what we're, so our run is a trip to the Nepean, is a river trip, a river cruise. We'll make our way down to the Nepean River. I'll put some pictures up once we get there. So we will be travelling, let's see, we could go via the prison, see if we go via this area here, the burnout prisons, and then down here. So we're going to travel across, down to here. So first off, we've never been here before. We will load up the car. We've got enough provisions, but we should be able to do it in one day, because we can travel 5 squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We should be able to do this in one day. So we're going to travel to our first one. Now, how we have with travel is, well, there you go. There's a thing. If you roll theme words and nothing sparks any interest, stick it in GPT and see what happens. AI is my friend. So we were then traveling. So run, enter a new sector. It's a scout roll, isn't it? So every time we enter a sector, we do a scout roll, and then we do a 2d6. High if we've never been in it before, and a 6 means an encounter. I think that's right. So first off, we've got a scout roll. We're already stressed because of trying to get Joey to come. So we've got 1 stress. We have 3 wits, 2 scout. We haven't got any binoculars, so I might make a note, try and get binoculars and a map if we can of this area. See if we can convince someone to give us binoculars or a map. So we've got 1 stress and 5 for our scouting. We get a hit. Okay, so anything that happens on here, we see it before it sees us. We roll, see if we've got, I think it's double high. Nope, no encounter. Yeah, 6 would mean encounter, so we don't get an encounter. So moving into that section with the car, we don't have an encounter. So now we'll move down to the area. So this is way more built up. Penrith is a built up urban environment. It's got a shopping mall and all sorts. So we'll move into that area. So we've got a scout roll, which was, what was that? That was 5, wasn't it? It was a 3 and a 2 and 1 walker. Is that right? 3 and a 2 and 1 walker. 3 and a 2 and 1 walker. Walker. Okay. So we the car. Oh, all right. So a walker is a complication. So we can roll on the complication table, mess up oracle. Okay, let's roll on the messing up oracle and see if we can interpret something from the messing up oracle. 33. You're lost or someone important is put into danger. Okay, so we get lost. So instead of going into from that sector down, there is a potential. So if we say we got lost, so instead of coming down here, instead, where it's potential we would go into 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go, well, we couldn't get lost and go back, could we? Yeah, we could, potentially we could, because there could be blockages in the roads and various other things and coming round. So this, instead of coming, actually, because instead of coming to here, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. So instead of going there, coming down into here, we've instead come to here. So we've moved into this area. So we've gone 1, 2 squares. Well, this would be 3, 4. So that means we're going to stay 3, 4. We're staying overnight. All right. So we've worked out that we're here and we've come into this area and we're lost. Now we've got our. Is there an encounter? No. So we're in this sector. What is here? Let's roll and see what's in this area. So this is more wilderness. So we're going to roll on our wilderness table. 34. 34. Ramshackle mansion with towers and strange statuettes. Monkey dressed in small human clothes. The owner has been eaten. All right. Okay. So there's a weird buildings around this area. Hold on. I'm going to pick up my drop dice. Die rather. But we ignore that because we're on a quest. So we got lost, which sucks because it means that we can't come back in a day. We can't go 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have to go. So we've gone 1, 2. Then we're going to attempt to come back into here. We've already been here, but we'll roll another scout roll. Yep. 1, 2. So we're in there. We just rolled a d6 now. Nope. So we come back into the area where there's all the burnt out. So there's lots of air, so still smouldering smoke in the air around this area. There's desolation. It looks like loads of bombs have gone off in the area. I think that area was probably around this area. So where the prisons have been burnt down, it's basically because they were dropped aerial assault. The area has been carpet bombed. During the time when they were trying to suppress the zombies and the virus, and so this area is pretty much desolate. There's not a lot of stuff around here, and so we are just going to pick our way through the rubble with our car and attempt to now come down here. So we've gone 1, 2, 3. This will be the 4th sector. We can only move 1 more, so we might be able to come back here afterwards. So we are going to attempt again to move down into this area here. So we do our scout roll again. We're going to push this if we fail this one. We successfully scout and come into the area. No encounter. So we have successfully come into the near-pin area where we will locate the edges of the forest around this area here. I'll put up some pictures of it. And we're going to start to roll into the area of carefully scouting around. Now we notice that there is some tall towers have been built and a fence line made of piled up cars or buses, piled buses. Well, one of the things that GPT said was that these people, because I rolled, so Unity, they're trying to draw people in there, very accepting of people, and then we've got generosity, they've realised that being generous and helping people is a good thing. I think Simon and Kai might try and take advantage of that, and let's see if we can get ourselves some binoculars and whether they have a map of the area when we get here. So we will be approaching this fenced off area where they've got loads of large buses have been put end to end to try and secure this area with very small openings that can be easily defended from the walkers. They're not it couldn't really be easily defended from people trying to attack, we take note of, but it does defend quite well for walkers. We will come up like hands up. Though we've got assault rifles, we'll like hold them out at arm's reach. Hello? Hello, we didn't know there was a settlement here, so we'll put a tag there and we will call them the River People. And we will call them a new faction. We'll have a new faction called the River People. But they're not a bad faction, they're a good group of people. We will have the River People, and we know where they are. And there's Alex's there as well. We'll go, hello? Hi. Hello, we're just, we didn't know you were here. We're looking for someone from the settlement where we are situated, which is, they say, do you know of him? It's called Alex, would have maybe been in this area. And they say, oh, come on in, you put your hands down. Come on in, you're all right, come on. And they'll come up to us and we'll start to have a conversation. We'll be asked, are we tired? We'll go, so maybe we'll say, yeah, we've got completely lost just now. We ended up out somewhere. Oh, we don't know though, because we don't have a map and we don't have binoculars. We sorry, it was a bit heavy-handed, wasn't it? So because we don't have a map, we don't know where we are. So they'll be quite interested in that and take note. And in the end, we'll be chatting to them, and then Alex will be introduced to us, and we'll say, to tell Alex about the people in Marsden Park. They're really worried about him, and they'll be saying, no, I've joined this community. That we're very accepting. We're trying to build something new, and it reminds me very much of how I felt back when my family was there. And at that point, someone will come up and sort of hold him on the shoulder and go, Alex has had quite a hard time and finds it very difficult talking about everything that goes on. And he's having quite a bit of difficulty adjusting and dealing with it as Alex starts to well up. And this is where, which I'm making this up on the spot, of course, this is where Simon will think, oh, hello, I might be able to get in here. And Simon will look, I know we all had different lives in the past, but I actually worked with quite a lot of people, and I worked with people with loss. Kai and I were both medically trained, and I specialised in helping people dealing with more emotional problems. I'm a psychologist. And they'll go, oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, possibly we can give you some time alone with Alex, and maybe if you're both free, there's a few people here that we could talk with, and if you can go and help. So we do have someone who's quite trained in medicine. If you could possibly have a chat with them. He's over in one of the huts over here, and so they'll spend the rest of the day being consumed by the settlement, the River People settlement, and spend time ingratiating themselves with them. They were hoping to get back to Marsden Park the same day, but it's clear they're not going to, so instead they'll possibly see if they can spend the night here. So we will do a manipulation roll, which is for both Simon and Kai, and they will spend the night here. Now, if they succeed on this, we can get rid of Simon's stress point, because Simon and Kai are going to feel as though they're actually starting to, and Kai might start to feel a bit better about Simon, because she was starting to get a bit edgy about the way Simon had been behaving more recently, and possibly if Simon can go back to the way he was and seem a bit more caring about people. So Simon is going to attempt to spend some time. So first off, we'll do a roll. We'll leave out Kai's dice, and Simon is just going to spend some time with Alex and see if he can help Alex with Alex's problems. Excellent. So we've got 2 hits. So Alex begins to feel much better. So basically what this is Simon, Alex dealing with handle his fear, and Simon is going to spend a couple of hours with Alex talking things through and say, ooh, maybe he can convince Alex to come back to the Haven because it will be better for him. Oh, it's going to be difficult. All right, so Simon is going to try and convince Alex to come back to the haven because he's going to see an opportunity here that he's already done that, but he's going to need another 2 hits because Alex has got a home here. Alex reminds stuff, and so though Simon has reminded him about the importance of things, Alex isn't going to want to come back. If I throw a walker, it's not a bad mess up. What it means is just there's no further attempts and Alex is here for good. A walker. Okay, so Alex is here for good. Alex is saying, no, I completely understand what you're saying. Thank you very much for your help, but I'm going to stay here. So there's no point pushing or anything because Alex is staying. So next, we're going to see if we are spending the rest of the time with the people of these river people, not village people, can we ingratiate ourselves with them, spend the night, get some good food, and maybe we can convince them to get us draw us a map of the area or get us a map. Nothing. Okay, so it's all neutral. They're a bit neutral. We could try and push it. I mean, I really want to get a map. Getting a map will give us +2 for the scouting, which would be helpful. Okay, first off, do they have a map? So they're a bit neutral, but do they have? Do we see that they have a map that we could have? Yes. So they do have a map. So Simon knows they've got a map, and Simon wants that map because it's going to help us. So Simon is going to try and push this. Kai, if Simon rolls so Simon then will have to go to 2 stress, and Kai is going to not look lightly on Simon trying to push his luck and get a map that they've got. So a walker might be a diminishing of the relationship between Kai and Simon. A walker is, so we've got 2 hits, which means we get a map. So we get a map, but Kai is starting to lose faith. Kai is losing faith in Simon a bit, but we have got a map. We've got a map of the area, which is a +2 scouting. Map of the area. Kai is starting to lose faith in Simon a bit, but then Simon is we're still helping the people in the town tonight. So we spend the night at this haven, the river people on the river coast. It's quite pretty, it's quite relaxing. Pretty relaxing. I'm going to say that Simon gets 0 stress at the end of this. We will then, tomorrow, maybe we'll ask Alex. So let's see. So Alex is definitely not coming. Is Alex willing? Is Alex willing to write us a note that we can take back, just to sort of appease the people? Let's do. Oh God, I don't want to do another roll. I think it works, doesn't it? And just to ask Alex to write a note to say he's happy there, just to convince them, I think would be okay. I mean, we have helped him. So I will say he's written a note. So he writes us a note that we can take back. Rather than doing more rolls that I could fail, he will say that he's written a note for us to take back to the people of Marsden Park, and the next day we will travel back to Marsden Park to go back there after exploring. So we've got this new area. I wonder what sort of stuff. I wonder if there's. Are there? Let me find out. Are there fish? Yes. So there are fish. So what we are going to actually do is we are going to we will actually set up. Do we need to roll for? No. We are going to set up a trade route in fresh fish. So let's see. Okay, I think I do need to roll this. Let's see if we can convince them to give us some fish to take back to. No stress dice for this because this will be the next day before we leave. I'm going to see if I can convince Kai. So maybe if we get good on this, then Kai may be happy with this, that we have started to do something other than just for us, or that's what she thinks, but actually it is for us, because if we can set up a trade route of fresh fish between here and the Neopin people, and the Marsden Park people, so between the Neopin River and the Marsden Park people, if we can set up a trade route, the Neopin River people and the Marsden Park people will like us because they get fresh food and we might be able to get stuff out of them. 2 hits. 2 hits. We have set up a trade route in fresh fish and we've been given some fish to take back to Marsden Park, and Kai gains faith again. Okay, so we will return back, we'll attempt to return back up to the Marsden Park area. We will come back via Erskine Park, we'll come back a different way via Erskine Park and then up straight into Marsden Park, which should be quite a short route. So we've got 1 scout roll. We've got a map now, so we get +2. +2 for scout, +3 for wits. Nothing, okay. Then we've got a 6. Okay, we get an encounter. All right, so we're coming into that square sector. We have an encounter, and we might deal with that encounter next session. But what do we have? 1, 2 NPC, 3, 4 is the swarm, 5, 6 is the faction. 3, 4 is the swarm. Okay, so what we will deal with next time. And so if it's a swarm, hold on, we will do this bit now, so we know what we're walking into. All right, well, let's give it a D3 +3. So that's a 4. So that's a level 4 swarm. So we've encountered a level 4 swarm. Okay, so we've come into the sector. We've encountered a level 4 swarm. We are caught completely off our guard. So let's think. So what have we got? Okay, so what we've come across is there's, let's see, in this area, there's bound to be some overpass, and we've attempted to come over the overpass, and as we come over the overpass, it's weakened and we don't realise, and it starts to creak, and we do a driving roll to see if we can get out of this, which is 3 + 2. And we've got +2 for driving speed freak. This is to see if we can get out of this overpass crumbling and collapsing underneath us. Yep, so we quickly hit revert. You don't do that anymore, is it? We quickly hit reverse. I'll gear stick. In reverse, and we reverse off this, but the overpass crumbles and crashes down. In the process of reversing backwards, we smack the car into another car, and in the process of doing that, a whole bunch of things collapse over, and our car stalls. So we are going to have car stalls. Now, in the process of it stalling, I'm going to have to do a tech roll to repair. Now, to repair it is fine, but as we get out and I start to try and fix up the car, that's when Kai says, Simon, something's happening. And that's where we start to see more and more walkers coming in from the edges. As I'm leaning over the bonnet, trying to fix stuff with the tools I've got and the stuff I've got and trying to get stuff, more walkers are coming out, and then Kai's voice goes higher pitched, Simon. And that's when I turn and we see that the smashed area has basically activated all the walkers in the area, and we have a level 4 swarm, which is the walkers are closing in on you. So a level 4 swarm is closing in on Kai and I, as we see Kai get out whatever her weapon is. So she's got a baseball bat, but she's not trained in using it. And Simon, so there's only the 2 of them. Normally you need 3 people to take out a swarm, so this is going to be difficult. Simon reaches into the back of the car and pulls out the sledgehammer and steps forward and says, I think we're going to have to handle it, just the 2 of us. And that's where we'll end our episode. So we'll start our next episode, which will be episode 9. We'll probably, I will read, because we've gone for like 9 episodes, I will read the bit on the beginning of the end, how we start triggering the end game for The Walking Dead as a solo campaign, and we'll see how we will then trigger the end to begin next session, which would be session 9, as Simon and Kai try and handle this massive swarm by themselves to get the fresh fish back to Marsden Park, get the supplies back to the Haven with Joey, and then do what they came out to do several days ago. Thank you so much for joining me during this journey as we all learn together the awesome rules for the Walking Dead universe role-playing game. Thank you for subscribing if you're subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, please consider it. It's begging. It really does help the channel. Please like if you've liked. Please hit the notification bell so as you can see when I post something new. And thank you much for all your support. I will see you next week for more The Walking Dead universe role-playing game. See ya.